Here's how this works. Water, salt, and pepper, those are freebies. Your pantry, it better have flour, oil, vinegar, mustard, and garlic. Beyond that, you'll only need 5 more ingredients and 25 minutes to put an entree or entire meal on the table. So, shop, set the clock, and let's dish out. Alrighty, we'll kick things off this week with some Italian or French bread. A couple loaves will do you. Some fajita blend veggies. I got some fresh ones here from produce, but you can also use frozen if you like. Some mayonnaise, some provolone cheese, and some chicken breasts or chicken thighs would be completely acceptable as well. First things first, we're going to go ahead and cut the bread in half, leaving a little hinge there. And then I always like to take a little bit of the bread out of the top. To me, it just makes it easier to pack all the filling into the sandwich. And we'll toast that in the oven for a few minutes as well. Next up, take your chicken meat and slice it as thinly as you can. Good sharp knife here will do the trick. It's okay if it's a little thick, but you want it to get it relatively thin so it cooks quickly and evenly. We'll splash some olive oil into a skillet over medium-high to high heat. We'll add in our veggies to begin with. Season those up, of course, with salt and freshly cracked pepper. And you want to get a little color on these, but you don't want them totally obliterated and soft. So 2 to 3 minutes probably will do the trick. Once they've got some nice color, I'm going to go in with a little bit of garlic from the pantry. Give that 1 more minute just to warm up and get nice and fragrant. And then we'll evacuate those veggies before they become too soft. And just go ahead and set them aside in a bowl to keep warm. Just wipe that skillet out, add a little more olive oil, and then add in your chicken. Spread it out into a single layer. If your skillet is not as big as mine or you can't crank the heat too high, you may want to do this in a couple batches so that you can actually get a little color on that chicken. But as it browns on the first side, we'll season it up, of course, with salt and fresh cracked pepper. And then using a spatula, just going to break it up and chop it up into smaller pieces so we don't have any big stringy chunks of chicken breast on our sandwich. When the chicken is mostly cooked through, I'm going to return the fajita veggies and continue to stir and chop. Again, we don't want any large pieces of peppers or chicken. We want this to be a really easy to eat sandwich. Once everything's mostly cooked through, we'll go ahead and just lay on a whole bunch of that provolone cheese. You could use American if you want to, but I really like the texture and taste of provolone on a cheesesteak. Go ahead and turn the heat off and we can build our cheesesteak sandwich. Add that mayo down, spread it out into a nice layer, and don't be cheap with it. Gotta have a lot of mayo on a good cheesesteak. There we've got that perfectly melted cheese. It's kind of holding everything together for us. And I'm just going to start taking some big scoops of that and going in. Now, as written, this will serve 4 people. I'm calling this sandwich a serving for 2. We'll splash on a little red wine vinegar from the pantry, just a little acid to cut through all that richness from the cheese. And then just wrap this thing up in some aluminum foil. This part's totally optional, but I like to do it. Helps to get you a nice cross section and also keep everything warm, the bread and all the ingredients, so that cheese stays nice and melty for you. Go ahead and cut that bad boy or girl in half and take a look at that cross section. Got plenty of peppers in each bite. You know that cheese is going to be ooey and gooey, definitely juicy. Oh man, just nothing like really quickly cooked and properly seasoned and seared chicken mixed with slightly smoky provolone cheese. Got to get you a good cheese pull shot here. Yep. If you don't love a cheesesteak sandwich, there may be something wrong with you. Probably should go see a doctor, but before you do that, make one of these and see how you like it. Anyways, get on out of here, guys. Have a great week. At least, please go make something delicious.